We are the Underground Link-Up, or TULU for short.
We are a creative development network made up of artists and marketing professionals based in the Midlands, UK.
We help artists from across the globe in the commercial music sector to connect, create and collaborate.
We host live events providing artists with spaces to showcase their talent, and our online community helps artists grow their network.
Lastly, we have our very own recording and content creation studio located in Warwickshire.
The first of what we hope will be multiple nationwide locations.
Our vision is to create an infrastructure for artists in the independent creative sector.
Our mission? To share knowledge and nurture a creative community.
The music industry is multifaceted and fast-paced.
We've taken on a lot on our shoulders and covered a lot of ground already, especially in the male-dominated space in which we exist.
The odds seem stacked against us, but we believe so heavily in our vision, we are pushing down boundary after boundary to reach our goals.
Hey, I'm Gee, I'm the CEO of TULU Presents.
I'm Vince and I'm the CBO at TULU Presents.
Being the CEO of a small company means that one minute I'm organising huge company structural changes and implementing new features and new products and new services, and the other end of the spectrum is that I will be rifling through all the rubbish, sorting out the recycling.
On a business level, my job role involves designing and developing the content of the products and services that we offer. And that's kind of what I brought to the business from the beginning. Working as an artist in the industry for many years myself. A lot of the pain points that artists experience when they're trying to navigate the music industry, I've experienced myself firsthand, and it's that knowledge that I impart into the different services we offer.
Day to day for my role in the company spans heavily looking after a lot of our clients. So Vince has a selection of them and I look after the others. So this will entail running strategy calls with them, ensuring that they have all the right resources, making industry connections for them, planning events with them. So whatever their long-term goals and objectives for their career as TULU and as their account manager, I will implement all of the tools, the resources and the industry connections to ensure that they can achieve those goals.
In the actual day-to-day, what that looks like is me working directly with the artist, whether that be on their strategy, whether that be creatively, it could be in any aspect. Sometimes I'll be on calls and deal with clients. We'll do consultancies, we'll work on strategy together. Other times I'll be in the studio making suggestions on someone's track or giving performance coaching or supporting at an event, and just really dealing with the creative side of the business.
In a nutshell, my role in the company is taking on board the strategy for Vince and running with it and making sure everything is implemented and ongoing. So Vince and I have this cute little phrase, and Vince makes things possible and I make things happen. TULU Planet is one of the services that we offer that we implemented to have that bridge between someone remaining totally independent and also someone being signed by a label and supported by a label team. So TULU Planet is a split service. It's both online and in person, which means every artist is entitled to like face-to-face time with us. We either go and meet them or we get on a Zoom call with them and we highlight everything they've done that month, how it aligns with their strategy, and we implement all of the tools and resources to help them with the next month ahead.
At its core is a consultancy and support service to really help independent artists navigate their way through the minefield that is the music industry. And that could be anything from organising a video shoot to organising your whole release. What TULU Planet exists to do is to plug in the holes in an artist team where they may not have support. So for example, an independent artist isn't going to have a radio plugger, a PR person, a playlist pitcher, someone who's styling them, someone who's organising the shoot. There's so many moving parts to releasing a music project that you don't realise when you see the finished project. What TULU Planet does is it provides an infrastructure and a structure where an artist is able to identify the different areas of support that they're looking for, and then we're able to implement them either through external service providers or through the internal support that we're able to offer them.
The whole strategy, the whole career plans, and break them down into sizable, manageable chunks every month that they can keep ticking through. We understand that a lot of our artists work full-time in other areas, so it might tailor our approach to how we work with them, how intense or how sort of easygoing their strategy and implementation is. So for every artist, it's entirely different. Sometimes they're very performance heavy focused, so we'll implement performance coaching, we'll look at ways in which they can acquire more gigs, whereas another side, it might be more creative development, so that's when we'll get them into the studio, working with different producers. So it's entirely tailored to them. They have face-to-face times with us, and they also have their own membership suite where they can access all of the tools, all of the resources, and all of the worksheets that we provide them, just to make their job a little bit easier throughout the month.
As much as like copying and pasting the campaign over is really great because you don't have to go through a lot of it, there are certain things that it's like keyword research on search campaigns I'd always just redo afresh anyway. Like same with the YouTube ones, is just getting those YouTube links. Your keywords should be pretty similar, the keywords that you put in, so you can actually just bulk copy and paste those as well. If you go into one audience, there's a little copy sign next to them, so you can just paste them into the new one.
Whilst there's loads of marketing that can be done online, and whilst there's loads of things that we can do on the internet, there is still that real need for in-person contact. And so being really fluid in our approach and dynamic in our approach in terms of moving from the digital to the physical means that we can build these real strong connections for our artists. And a lot of companies overlook this part. Artists are always encouraged and informed about social media and the internet, but very rarely do we talk about what artists can be doing in person to build real connections with their audience.
From COV full of nuts. I get relapse there full of stutters. I had the DJ drop their tune one time at the old crowd there, done around, I swear down, that's Pete, yeah. I'm a creature. I had enough man holler for a feature. A couple name brands when I holler for my D, so I can get brand new grams on the free, but I'm running ahead, let's get back to the features. I'm up at the beat.
A champion artist at TULU is a totally different area to TULU Planet. TULU Planet was set up to be accessible to everyone and anyone who has a passion and a career ahead of them in the industry as an independent artist.
A champion artist for us is someone who is able to have a strong vision and conviction about their craft. Someone who's already put in quite a lot of time and effort and hours and is developed to a point where their music is ready to go.
We look for artists who have a specific vision for where they want to be in the industry and the dedication and motivation to help them carry themselves there. What TULU then do is we provide a lot more of a higher level service for these artists where we take them under our wing and we push them through the industry at like a faster rate.
We provide the continual environment for growth. So TULU Champions is about providing a continual environment for growth, and that's everything from the studio to the videographers to the producers. We facilitate every single thing, every single step of the way, and we connect the artist to as many people as possible to give them the best chance of flourishing with our support.
So we pull in all of our connections, we pull in all of our resources, we have them come to our studio, we work with our producers and we build the team around them to help them give that extra step into the industry that we believe they will then pursue a long and very fruitful career.
For us, a champion artist is someone we like to work very closely with and someone who shows exceptional levels of talent.
Once again, I go by the name of High Nelson. My Instagram is HIGH_Nelson.
There are many reasons why we believed High Nelson to be an ideal candidate for a champion artist. First and foremost, his artistic vision stood out to us as one that was very carefully curated, but was also very true to himself as an individual. He has a really interesting story as to how he got into music and why he pursued a career in music.
He's travelled all the way from across the globe to come to the UK where he knows his sound is more marketable. He's taken the initiative to think about what is marketable and where his music is best placed. And then he's gone there and he's here now, ready to make connections with people and ready to really showcase what he's been working on for the past few years, as well as start working on new material.
Give up on love because it never really lasts.
Yeah.
My heart on my sleeve,
Yeah.
keep it in the cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like sand through the
No. Yeah.
In my bed for the past few nights, but I've been alright, I've been on Stuck up on my ex, think I just missed the sex. I don't want no love cause my heart cold. Either friend or a fool, not sure, so I keep to myself these days cause I don't know.
Hi Nelson has a very, very strong work ethic, and this was very clear to us prior to him actually coming over from the US. He had previously given up a lot to pursue a career in music, so we felt that this was an ideal candidate for our Champion Artist program because we knew and we could trust in the fact that he wanted to put his all into his artistic development, creative development, and to become a much better artist all round.
And we're going to help him expand his creative community, plug him into all the different parts that he might need that he's already missing. He's got some bits down to a T, but there's other areas where he could do with support. And so we're going to try and find out what those areas are over the course of the coming weeks, and then really see if we can form a team around him.
Music allows me to say the things that I don't say for the sake of treating people's emotions like eggshells.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember I was telling you like there's Dane and then there's High Nelson?
Yeah.
So Dane treats people's emotions like eggshells.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But when it comes to music, there's not that same delicacy.
Mm-hmm.
It's more honest.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so this week has pretty much been an artist development week for me, I'd say pretty much. We've been trying to build more of a character story around High Nelson. So outside of the music and the visuals and stuff, we've just been trying to just build a story for High Nelson. And when I say build a story, it doesn't mean build a fake story, but just rewind my life pretty much and just account for everything that's gotten me to this point.
I want it to be less put on.
More authentic.
Yeah. Like that just now I was authentic.
Yeah.
That was it wasn't too put on or you know? I want to move down that lane.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's where the music is. The songs aren't, let's have 10 models in this video. That's not what the subject matter is anymore.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I feel like it has to align now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where like this stuff is going to be really useful, because I think if we can like pick a list of locations where we think that stuff can be placed, and then make this content piece around, like it is literally you telling your story.
Everything that I discuss in my music, all the stuff that bothers me, pretty much music is my therapist. So to really understand what I'm discussing in my music, you really have to understand how I grew up and where I was raised and how I was raised. And I guess all of that will eventually start to spill over into the visuals and just give people a more realistic view of High Nelson and who he is, and give them a chance to connect.
So my idea is, it's like you're making, it's like you keeping a diary, but you keep the diary in audio. So rather than you like writing in a book, it's like you recording yourself, just talking. That will be like a thread in each of the videos. So it always starts with you starting recording yourself, and then you're just gonna be saying some Then we cut away to these different settings that are like representative of you.
Yeah. I guess the small narrations, those will be from Dane.
Yeah.
Got you. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it always starts with you keeping this audio diary, and then it
Gotcha.
fades into the image that's going to then create your narrative picture.
Got you.
Make
I'm on
sense?
board.
Does it feel
100%.
good?
Yeah.
Cool.
A lot of my followers, they've just heard the music. They haven't actually heard a story. So us building this narrative is going to help us, High Nelson and TULU, to give the listeners more of a story, more of a background, more of a solid foundation for the music. Because we find when the listener has a more solid idea of the artist's story, it's easier for them to connect to the music.
So this week we will have Hi Nelson in the studio developing on his writing skills, on his recording skills, and also developing some new music.
Pull it back?
Yeah, pull it back.
We have booked an intensive artist development week in with this artist. This is going to include him having access to the studio all week and working with producers. He's super talented at writing songs, so we wanted him to be able to try a variety of new sounds, as well as work with different creative personalities, so that he's got a really well-rounded experience of what it is to be an artist in the studio setting.
Memory, can't forget all of the memory. Wish that I could have you here with me, but all I got is all these memories.
Because singing's such a specific thing, and it has to be so accurate that like as soon as something's thrown off, it just completely throws the whole thing off.
Hi Nelson has also been in the studio heavy with Philosopher, Harlem Ralph, and Saigon. All three of these producers, they carry a completely different sound. So it's been fun, and it's also been a learning experience for me as an artist to work with three completely different sounds in the same week. Every time I sit down with each of them, it brings out a different element in my artistic personality, I'd say.
This program is imperative to an artist development because in a real world situation, if they were signed to a label, if they were doing this full time, these are the kinds of weeks that would be every week for an artist. So it would be continually finding areas to develop on and honing in on that area to add to the bigger picture of who they are as an artist and what they can bring to the industry.
There's really not very many places as a musician that you can go to almost gain real life experience of what it's like to be a full-time musician. Having a week where it's packed out with studio sessions, performances, coaching, it really gives you a taste of what it would be like if you were living that. And I feel it's so important for artists to be able to see what it is that they're aspiring towards, because sometimes people don't realise what it takes, how tired they're going to be, how hard it is doing long days at the studio and then going straight to a gig. People don't see that side of things, and it's easy to think you want to pursue your passion and you want to be a creative when you don't know what goes into it. These weeks are a really intensive way of showing what would be going into it. Do you feel you still want to give it everything? And if you do, what are the next steps you can take afterwards? So this is really a way of putting you through your paces and showing you a look at your life if you were doing what you loved every single day.
So in addition to all of this stuff going on this week, I'm also gearing up to drop my EP entitled Hello. I've made this EP pretty much a therapy session. So in between all the songs, there are excerpts from a therapy session between Hi Nelson and his therapist. Hi Nelson's therapist is going to be Gee. So I'm really excited about that. I feel like the skits make the tracks hit home even more because the skits explain the things that the tracks might not explain. So if anything may go over your head or you may not catch on to something right away, the skits will make those things stand out.
Okay, perfect. I like to begin all of my relationships with patients by asking them why they think they're here. So would you mind giving me some insight as to why you think you're here with me today?
For starters, the doctor and everybody in my family suggested it, but it's not really something I wanted to do. But outside of that, I guess I haven't been feeling myself since the accident. It's hard for me to say I feel happy, I guess.
So what do you think has changed between the times when you were genuinely happy and now?
Sometimes I feel like I've spiraled to the point where I don't recognize myself. Who I once was is completely contrary to who I am now. Sometimes I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest. I used to be a social butterfly, but nowadays I just want to be alone. Gearing up to drop this EP, we want to give people an early listen anywhere from Birmingham to London, including Leamington Spa. We've been going around just having these listening sessions. The reception has been beautiful so far, between people's commentary on the visuals, people's commentary on the skits. They've loved it. I just hope that the reception that I've been receiving from these listening parties really turns over into the reception that I get once the EP is out.
Thinking about the wrong that I did to pay my dues. Ripping into my outfit, it's green on curfew. Blessed from the heels up. The wrongs could be right when it's said and done. So I'm so light a purse, but I had to find a reason for the money in my pocket. Ain't got another pride. When I say bye, just say hi.
The next track is going to be a track called Young Blood. That actually isn't featuring any female talent. But the way we shot it, we kind of shot it impromptu, where it was kind of supposed to be a photo shoot. It's pretty much me talking about certain conflicts between right and wrong, and just the idea that what's right to the masses might not be right for me, and what's wrong to the masses might be right for me, if that makes sense. Young Blood is speaking about me, I guess, coming of age, realizing that I don't really want to be in the mix anymore. I have certain aspirations that some of my friends probably don't align with, and that's just me coming to an acceptance of it.
My smile come take a pic, it's mesmerizing. Only time I feel rich is when I'm smiling.
The most lit listening session might have been the London one. That was high energy. It was a very intimate crowd. We had a games night. It was fun. It wasn't just music. I feel like when you hear a listening session, you think, all right, I'm just going to pull up to the studio and the artist is going to play their music and I'm going to go home. But it was way more than that. It felt like a family vibe. Close friends were there. Other artists played their music. And like I said, the reception to the project, it was beautiful. Mixed and mastered by Vic. And then the skits and everything were added in and EQ'd by Philosopher.
Hey, Philosopher, seeing the past, seeing the future, everything.
This one's called Mr. Minu. I'm sure he's going to tell you all about it after. We'll get straight into it. Let's go.
Past you, thoughts of you got me sleeping on a woman that's in front of me. Living in regret, I don't wanna be. So I'm taking every chance that I get. Trying to get back that bounce in my step. So I went and spit the bag on my craps. Still I'm walking flat-footed. Personalities in this carpool. It's getting hard for me to concentrate. Lights working to a sharp pull. I'm trying hard not to move, babe. Got a trunk full of secrets and I'm on my last strike. Signal to the left, but I really turn right. Next thing I see is bright lights in my rear view. Can you introduce me to sweet looks so familiar?
It's been a real mixture of different kinds of interactive listening sessions where he's been able to either play or perform the project. And this for me is one of the beauties of working in such a dynamic business, is that something starts online on the internet from opposite sides of the world and then becomes this real life experience, not only for the artists, but also for audiences. Pulling off this tour has meant that High Nelson's been able to put his project directly in front of the listener and not only see their feedback, but tell them the stories of the songs on the project and really build a connection with his audience, not just through the music. As we have a bunch of live shows lined up for him across the summer. He's going to go on stage with the new energy, meeting with some of the new people that we've met over the course of the week, and really just creating and solidifying the network that he needs to build around him.
I've been hate, I still seek love. Cause too deep, I still guess the good deeds is paying for the sins. It got me big, got me lean. I don't sit lean cause I lean. Off the heavy in the fast play. We don't call it weed, we call it flower, we some block shit. Used to see my girl before, but now I am, that's a mood shit. I trip with the mood shit, to a scoop with the nerves, bro. I'm stuck in a hood like a reaper. I'm broke, baby, not money. Chips, no money, not honey dip. I was blessed with $1 and cents, so I had to learn how to stretch 99 cents. One more time. I'm broke, baby.
Once again, I go by the name of High Nelson. My Instagram is HIGH_Nelson. Thank you for the energy. Thank you.
So over the past week, we've learnt and discovered so much about High Nelson, and it's been really, really good to see him flourish creatively. He's really coming out of his shell in performances. He was already a super talented performer, but we've really able to step up his level of engagement and excitement and the way he interacts with the crowd and builds upon that. We've also listened through his extensive catalogue of music that he's been creating on his own and pulled out some concepts and ideas for what the next phase of releases is going to be. And then we've been able to establish new connections between him, other artists and producers. We've facilitated a lot of collaborations. He's been in studios not only here, but we went to London as well and worked with some artists over there. So he's really spreading out his net of who he's working with and where he's working. Over the course of the week, we've realised he has a project coming up. We've been focused on PR when maybe we should be focused elsewhere. And we want to look at what we're going to do to make this project pop here when it finally comes out to releasing. Out of all of the week's planning and formulating, a really exciting plan of a release listening party tour has come out. So in the month of November, we're going to take a little tour around the UK in 4 or 5 different places and showcase the project in really interesting ways, not just live shows, but listening experiences, which is going to be so much fun to put together.
A lot of good things have been happening since I've linked up with TULU. So these listening sessions have they've been the icing on the cake in terms of my stay in the UK. It's been sick. Love it.